Vivek, so you've got an idea for a simple program that you'd like to
Yeah.
make. Why don't you write it into the comments, just your idea for what this program would look like?
Okay. The problem, I want to be able to generate random simple math questions for my child to answer. I guess defining simple. Simple would include adding, subtracting. I think it's adding and subtracting for the time being.
Yep.
I would ideally like to set how big each.
Each.
Yeah. How big each of the. I don't want him to try and answer 1,000 plus.
Yep. Great.
Yep. I would want it to generate X number of questions. Okay, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, so what we should do is just figure out an entry point into the program, meaning just a starting point. Okay.
Yeah.
The way I would recommend you do this is try and think about it in a very manual way first, before you get the computer to do anything. First of all, get the computer to do as little as possible for you, and then slowly get it to do more and more for you.
Okay.
So I'll just give you an example of what I mean, right? An example would be that you're going to tell Python, this is the question I want you to ask. And let's say the question, and let's make the question simple. It's 1 + 1 = what? Let's begin there, okay?
Okay.
Write your first question.
Right, okay. And like I said, keeping it as simple as possible, I'd say what's 1 + 1?
Yeah, so write that in.
Well, as in like that.
Yeah, so run that.
So the simplest version would be I would need to have, in my mind, two variables that are randomly generated.
Absolutely.
And then some kind of loop, maybe, so that you do it 20 times.
Excellent. Yeah.
So maybe if I was to just write this in English, so
yeah, go for it.
I would want to set two variables, or create two variables. I would want to create two variables. I would want to set whether, maybe keeping it simple, I would want to print variable 1 plus variable 2 equals. I would want to loop this so that I get 20 iterations of variable 1 plus variable 2 equals. That's basically what I want.
Yep, great. So we can go back to each code block and start filling in code.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the first variable. So just give the variable a name. So
okay.
Just, yeah.
So number 1
good
equals.
Yeah. Now I just want you to Google create random numbers with Python.
How to create random number. And I guess because this is so simple, there's no point even thinking about pandas, because this is all as part of basic Python.
Yeah, because pandas is for data analysis.
All right, okay, fine. I didn't even remember that. Okay. To generate a random number in Python, randint brackets function is used. Okay. So I'd imagine I did that. Then what that will do is each time it runs, number 1 will be a random integer.
Try it. Now, the problem is that randint actually comes from a built-in library called random. So you have to import random first. So maybe at the top somewhere.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess the problem is I didn't actually open a page.
Yeah.
Google gives you its answer at the top.
Maybe show it on screen. Like,
Okay. So I said how to create random number with Python. I looked at that. It didn't work. So
there you go. That first bit of code gives you exactly what you need.
This function is defined in random module.
Yeah.
Source code output. No, we may get a different output because this generates random numbers. Cool. And it also gives a range. Oh, nice.
Exactly.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
So import. Would I import right at the beginning?
Yes. It's good to import at the beginning.
So I suppose maybe I'll. Yes.
Nice.
Import random.
Yep.
Okay, so that's been imported. Now this should work.
So to go back to what it said, go back to that page.
There was a okay. Print. Oh, right. You need. Oh, that's so confused. Oh, okay. I get it. Because randint you have to is a function of random.
Exactly.
So I assume actually I don't even need to actually print.
No, but it's always good to print it to make sure it's doing what you want it to do.
Right. Because what I was gonna do was, in the next line, write number 1.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just because it's
according to your own specification, the next line is where you talk about printing. So it makes sense.
well, yeah, it wasn't even that. It was okay. Number 1. Okay, so it picked 0. That makes sense.
Try again. No, you have to make sure you run both.
Oh, what am I doing? Ignore me. Yeah. Sorry. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good. And actually,
yeah,
something I should have said here is I don't want a variable to ever be 0 because the question would be too easy then.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Good.
So we've got our first thing, which is we've imported random. We figured out how the random int function. We've now we've made a variable called number 1, which gets a random integer 1 to 9. And so presumably I'd also do number 2.
Yeah.
Could I do it all in one line, or that's not a good idea? I should do it in separate lines.
Well, you can, in that code block, you can do it. So just after that, press enter.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
And actually, I guess, okay, yeah, we'll keep it simple for now. Yeah. So that makes sense. I'm happy with that. I'll get rid of this because I don't need it. Oh, I would print variable 1 plus 2. Okay, so I guess what I'd do is just be doing that print thing. Print. Could I do number 1? Could I do this? Number 1 plus. Oh, interesting. So that's just the text. But then if I did that, I assume this will work actually. I print that. Oh no, but then will it just give me the, yeah, okay.
Okay. So
it's doing the calculation. So what I needed to do is print them separately. Print number 1 like that. Print number 2 like that.
Yeah.
Almost. And then I need to print it all.
Okay, that's clever, but it just happens not to be the way you do it in Python.
Yeah.
So can you just do Control Z and go back a couple of steps? That. Okay. So what you need to do is just put commas in between.
Like that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. But then if that's the case, all I needed to do was that then, right?
Exactly. That is correct. So now we've got that. All we need is to loop it.
Yeah. So let's move this out. So we've done that. So let's put that in here. Okay, I would want to loop this so that I get 20 iterations. Yeah. So that's there. Types of loops. So I'm gonna just Google types of loops in Python.
Yeah. I think it's good. Yeah, it's good for you to show. Yeah,
There are
only
two
two
types of
types.
loops. Okay, for and while. The loops iterate over a given sequence. For example, for prime in primes, print prime. For loops can iterate over a sequence of numbers using a range or x-range functions. The difference between range and x-range is that the range function returns a new list of numbers that x-range returns. Well, that makes no sense. Let's see while. While loops repeat as long as a certain Boolean condition is met. For example, right, and we'd actually want a while loop because we want a certain count.
Okay, you can definitely use a while loop. Let's go for the while loop. I would choose the for loop, but it's fine. You can use either. Typically, for a situation like this, you use the for loop.
Okay, let's do the for loop.
Because if you look at the very first, not that one, the next one, the very first bit of code, see, tells you.
We'll print out the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For x in range 5, print x. So has x already been defined, or is this where x is made a variable?
It's been made here. It just gets made now.
Okay, so let me move this, copy it, and see when I play with this. So for x in range 5, print x. So that will just work by itself. Okay, that makes sense. So what I want to do is, perhaps what I want to do is name this whole thing something and say, do this over and over again.
Yes, I mean, you can just copy and paste that into the loop. That's what I would do.
But I don't even see where you'd put it.
Just replace print x with what you want to actually print. Yeah. Okay, so we're almost there.
It's just going to keep doing this over and over again, which is pointless. What we actually wanted to do is do the random int each time. Yep. So actually, all I'd do is actually just put this above it, surely.
Yeah, just make sure you indent it properly. Yep.
Nice.
That's it.
It's crazy. This is amazing. And then add, I want to then, oh, sorry, 1 to, or maybe 1 to 100. And then 1 to 100. Hey, this is it.
Yeah, nice.
And then if I wanted to make it minuses, I would just change that, which is easy. And then I guess I'd probably copy that into Word to make it bigger and then print it out.
Yeah, you could do that. It's not hard to get this to output like maybe a PDF.
Oh,